You wake up, you pour the cereal, you throw on your uniform, grab your bag, and rush outside. But if you stop and look closely at the street, you realize something. Every single item you use this morning and every object in your line of sight exists because of an economic activity. Economic activity is any work someone does to produce goods or services in exchange for money. In this one frozen moment, a vegetable vendor selling produce, a tailor sewing a garment, and a driver navigating traffic, it is a massive, noisy web of human labor. To make sense of millions of jobs, economists classify all this work into three foundational sectors. The first category is the primary sector. This is the foundation. It includes any work where people extract raw natural resources directly from the earth. While farming and fishing usually come to mind, mining is also a primary activity. These workers are pulling physical minerals straight from the ground. Once those raw materials are extracted, they move to the secondary sector. These are the transformers. The secondary sector takes the raw output from farms and mines and runs it directly through modern factories and industrial mills. Here, raw materials are physically altered on an industrial scale to manufacture finished goods, which adds financial value. The final category is the tertiary sector. Think of them as the helpers. They don't produce physical goods, but provide the transportation, support, and expertise that we all rely on. The tertiary sector deals heavily in knowledge and services. When a doctor treats a patient or a teacher delivers a geometry lesson, they are performing a tertiary economic activity. Every single job falls into one of these three buckets, but no single bucket can survive on its own. This flowchart maps the journey of a single product, tea. It shows us exactly how these three sectors rely on one another. The chain starts at the primary level. Workers cultivate and harvest raw tea leaves in states like Assam. The secondary sector depends entirely on that harvest. The factories need a steady supply of raw leaves to run their processing machines and package the final black or green tea. Finally, the tertiary sector provides the logistics. Delivery trucks transport the boxes from the factory, and retail stores place those boxes on shelves for you to buy. If the farm fails, the factory halts. If the trucks stop running, the tea rots in the warehouse. They act as a single, unified economic engine. Back in the 1940s, dairy farmers in Gujarat faced a serious problem. They were trapped strictly in the primary sector. Milk spoils quickly in the heat, forcing them to sell their product fast at meager prices to middlemen who controlled the market. To solve this, national leader Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel advised the farmers to bypass the middlemen entirely by forming a cooperative. By partnering with an engineer named Dr. Varghese Kurian, farmers took control of their own production and built secondary sector capabilities. Instead of selling raw, highly perishable milk, they pasteurized it. They manufactured butter and milk powder, massively extending the shelf life and increasing their value. Over time, the massive Amul cooperative expanded to own both the transport trucks and the retail shops, the tertiary sector. By mastering all three stages of the supply chain, they empowered millions of rural producers and built a dominant national industry. This chart compares India's workforce share against its GDP contribution for the year 2023 to 2024. It reveals a stark contrast regarding where people work versus where the money is actually made. The primary sector employs the vast majority of the workforce, roughly 45%, yet it contributes the least to the nation's GDP, sitting at around 17%. Now, look at the tertiary sector. It employs far fewer people, about 31%, but it generates more than half of the entire nation's wealth. The tertiary sector commands this value because it houses modern technology. Systems like artificial intelligence, digital logistics networks, and software development optimize the entire economy, making the primary and secondary sectors highly efficient. This creates a tight, highly sensitive loop. A drought in the primary sector means no raw materials. The factory gears grind to a halt, and within days, the digital storefront flashes an out-of-stock sign. Look around your neighborhood tomorrow. The auto rickshaw, the corner shop, and the local clinic all operate as connected nodes within the vast economic matrix driving the world around you.